What's up, everybody? Doing a blog, doing some vlogging now. Just thought I would kind of share with you different thoughts and experiences I've been having as of late, kind of like a week to week. No real set time on how and when I'm going to do these, what I'm going to talk about. But I just thought it'd be something unique and different to give you guys a little more depth into what goes through my head, how I do what I do, what has been going really well, what has not been ideal. And so myself and John will be doing these more often to try to just kind of show some more authenticity throughout the process and what's going through our heads as we now we're in a more of a maintenance and consistent stability within our transformation. So, oh my gosh, I'm drinking sparkling ice synthetic sugars. Oh my gosh, it's so bad for you. Whatever you gotta tell yourself. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to check in with what's going on in my life. So at least over the last 2.5, 3 months, I have made the decision I'm doing a bodybuilding competition this year. I was in between doing June in Texas or doing October and doing the transformation class, and I decided to do October just because going into my last competition, I did a lot in a year. However, I didn't go nearly as far as I wanted to in a year. I think is because I set myself too far behind. The first time I competed, the year before, I tore my knee, my PCL playing basketball, October of the previous year. And November 2nd, literally 367 days later, I went from 278 and like 30% body fat. I was floating on fluffy again from strength training and just eating to try to build lean muscle mass. To 367 days later, I went from mid 270s and probably 28% body fat to 212 and probably realistically sub 12 to 14% body fat. And the reason why I say I'm doing it a little different this year was towards the last 8 to 10 weeks going into the prep and the final little bit, I was way behind the 8 ball. And I wasn't as lean as I wanted to be. And I decided I was going to grind it out with how lean I could get. And way behind the 8 ball with only 6 to 8 weeks left, I dropped my calories to like 1,300 calories a day. I was eating like 190 protein, sub 30 carb, and like 60 fat or whatever that is to be like 1,200 calories, like freaking nothing, like literally nothing. And I was doing cardio for like an hour a day while trying to lift. My hips were just tight as knots and hamstrings were tight, and it was not good. Let's put it that way. I tried to do whatever I could in a caloric deficit, lean out as much as I could to compete. And did I do great in the scheme of things? Yes. Did I burn up some muscle and do as good as I could have done? No. And so this time I'm really going into it with slow and steady wins the race on this round. And so I was about 260 at the beginning of my last bulk, and I was like 24% body fat, 24, 26, and goes to show you how much lean muscle mass I put on as of late. I'm like at that time. And so over the last about 10 weeks or so, I've dropped from 256, 258 down to 246 and like 19% body fat, 20% body fat. And so with this process, I just know it's going to, like, I'm going to June. Could I do June if I really pushed myself? I think I could. But I really am in the process of, I want to do it really slow, really controlled, 1 pound, maybe 2 a week, nothing crazy. And that means at this point in time, I got about 30 to lose. I'm 246. Realistically, stage weight is around 215. So I got about 30 to lose. And could I push it and do it in June? Maybe. but I really want to maintain as much muscle mass throughout the process as I can. And so I've decided on October. And with that process, I've incorporated more carbs than I ever have. Usually, crazy enough, guys, I did do quite a bit of low carb within the meat and potatoes of my weight loss phase. And it is different to incorporate more carbs than I ever have while burning body fat. And so it's been fun. It's different. It's a different sequence of events. Is it more difficult? I think so. I mean, when I say more difficult, I mean, I don't get nearly the food cravings I used to get at like when I just go low carb. When I go low carb, it's a lot more simple for me. Whether it's the mental shift of staying away from the chips and all that kind of stuff and cookies, probably. Is it a little bit to do with just like that self-control? It's very easy for me to be just like, all right, high protein, mid carb, low fat, or sorry, high protein, mid fat, low carb. I can eat that all day. I don't get a lot of hunger hormones, anything like that. Is it necessary? No. Is calories still the basis? Yes. But it's been fun to try to something a little different. And so I've been leaning out pretty well. Have I been perfect in the last 10, 12 weeks? No. I've been far from it. I went skiing for a week and I did 70%. I definitely still stayed relatively on track, but I did have some solid off-plan meals that, again, I'm just living, and you can do a lot through balance. And so we're back on track. I feel really good right now. Nutritionally, I'm back on track. Back has been effed. I pulled a muscle in my upper back, so kind of doing some light rehab work while still doing cardio. I still go to the gym 5 to 7 days a week. Is every single day a heavy lift workout? No. I have some light recovery days where it's a lot of kind of like, whether it's stretching and range of motion work and then some cardio. I like to go to the gym every day. It's just my sanctuary. I start every morning. It primes my day. And there's just something that's actually a fun conversation. So skiing in Utah last week. I was skiing all week, didn't go to the gym, ate all right. Nothing crazy. Basically, throughout the day, I'd be on point, and then dinner, I would just eat whatever the frick I wanted. So that's basically how that all came to be. So I get back from Utah skiing from Sunday to Thursday. I get home at 11:30 on Thursday night. Literally get in my car, go straight to Detroit, where I coached the high school bowling state championships for team and individual. So I get into Detroit at like 2:30 in the morning on Thursday night into Friday morning. I coached from 6 a.m. to like 3 p.m. Took a long freaking nap, went out to dinner, then went back to sleep, and then woke up again at 6 a.m. the next day, was in the bowling alley from 7 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. Like almost 12 straight hours inside the bowling alley coaching. And then I drive home. I get home on Sunday, and like Saturday night into Sunday, I just feel like garbage. To be honest, Friday and Saturday I ate like shit. I'll be honest, it was really weird. I had some nasty. I think it's crazy what lack of sleep can do to you when it comes to just the way you think things through. I pocket ate for the first time in quite a while. I had my own hotel room. Went down to the grocery store, the gas station, bought a big ass bag of chocolate peanut butter trail mix and 2 peanut butter, like what are those called? The peanut butter waffle chocolate things. Probably all that was, I mean, I ate almost a whole bag of chocolate peanut butter trail mix, and it was like a pretty big bag. And that was probably all that, 2,000 calories, maybe 2,500. It was stupid. And it was like, I did it like midnight. And so it is fascinating how your brain can just turn off at night from time to time, and you just eat like an asshole. And so then all Sunday, I felt like balls. I literally laid on the couch all day, binge watched some Netflix, trying to recover. And then even going into Monday morning, I didn't feel good. I just didn't feel like blah. But I was like, no, I got to get my morning routine in. It's just super important to me. It sets the day. It primes the day. It primes the week. And so I still managed to get into the gym Monday morning, started to meal prep, got back on track, and by Tuesday, Wednesday, after getting back on routine, I started coming back to. And as this week finished out, we're back in momentum. But it's crazy to me how you, until you build a powerful morning routine, when it's like physical, mental, and spiritual, like setting the tone for your morning to build momentum for the day, that habit is so freaking huge for me. At least for me. Like if I don't go to the gym, or if I don't do something of physical activity in the morning, something of podcasting or reading or something of like positive feeling music of some sort, some type of reading where I'm educating myself and relearning something new. If I don't get those three things in the morning, the rest of the day just feels like blah. But when I get that prime morning in, I do some type of movement, I do some type of mental training, I do something of like a spiritual training, it just sets me up. And throughout the rest of the day, I just feel good and I make better decisions. And the rest of the day just primes better when I set my morning routine in order. And so getting back in the morning routine was super freaking important to me this past week, because without it, I probably could have gone on a slide really easy, because as we all know, it can happen. But we're right back on track. I'm at 246 again, and we are chunking away. So that's kind of a little bit on my week thus far and the last couple weeks. Hopefully you guys got some little value out of it. If you haven't started and figure out a way to build an empowering morning routine, I friggin' highly recommend it. And whether that is goal setting in the morning, something physical, like because you think about it like this: there's physical, mental, and spiritual, and how those all come together to kind of prime your morning. So something physical, and it can be something as simple as some push-ups, some sit-ups, some walking, treadmill work, biking. It doesn't freaking matter. Just something to get the heart rate going. Number two, something to kind of visualize out the day, whether that's maybe you're setting up a checklist of what you're going to accomplish that day. Maybe you're looking at the big vision board of what you're trying to accomplish over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, year. It doesn't really matter. But again, the issue is I have found that we all fill our day. We all fill our day with stuff. Now the question is how much of that stuff is productive. And there's a difference between I think it's super important. Like people always say, I want change. Do you want change or do you want progress? Change and progress are two completely different things. People change all the time. They change relationships, but they don't progress relationships. Have you noticed, whether it's for yourself or someone you know, that they change relationships and they happen to go in the same freaking relationship every single time? They change nutrition plans, but it's basically the same nutrition plan every single time. They change things, but that doesn't mean progress. And that means sometimes taking a pause, setting intention for the day so you make the best out of that specific day, make the best out of a specific week, and then eventually that'll make the best out of the month and hopefully the year. And so, but it all compounds, man. I think it's super important. This idea that I always step back in my story, and when I thought about the 200-pound weight loss, it never worked. It never works for me. I have to compound things into very small, bite-size things that I'm like, all right, if I hammer that again and again and again and again and again and again and again, I will make actual progress to where I want and not just change, because they're two completely different things. So that's what's going through my mind right now. I'm in a really good place. I actually went to old school David, where I wrote on my my mirror in my bathroom my goal weight and a couple words that I focus on, which is right now it's discipline and focus. Those are my two main mindset things right now. I just think in my head over and over again is, all right, David, 215, discipline, focus. And that's where I'm at. So hopefully you guys got some cool little value out of this. If you have any questions, comments, observations, you're more than welcome to comment down below if you want me to kind of go more into detail into anything in particular. I'm speaking off the cuff, guys. There's no notes for any of these little vlogs. They could last 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 50 minutes. I have no idea. I'm speaking off the cuff. So this first one lasted a solid 15 minutes. I truly appreciate every single one of you that gets value out of this. It's been really cool lately. I think that's another thing. Within the ALG community, going to Facebook, the communications we've been having lately, there's been some really cool stories. My TikTok lives, I've been hearing of a lot of people making some massive shifts in their life, progressing in incredible ways. And it's super grateful to be a part of it. I don't want to be the reason, because at the end of the day, it's you. I don't know who's listening to this right now. This isn't about me. I'm not your motivation. I'm not your guru. I'm just an average person sharing my personal experience, some perspective, some insight. But again, no one can make you progress and live an accountable life but you. No one can do it for you. And I think it's super important to know that. And so I truly appreciate you thinking that I'm a big reason for your transformation, but I'm not. Like, it's you. It truly is you. Never forget that. It is you. It's not narcissistic to say it's on me. It is on me, because at the end of the day, that's all we can control is what we do with ourselves. And so with that being said, guys, have a phenomenal night or phenomenal day or phenomenal week. Have a phenomenal year, and I will talk to you all later.